Nusaybah, the fearless woman of Ohed. True story of unmatched courage. The deep scar on the shoulder of Nusaybah, daughter of Ka'ab, spoke of a major wound in the past. Whenever the women, especially of the younger generation who had not seen the time of the Prophet or were too small at that time, noticed the cavity in her shoulder, they inquired with extreme curiosity about the frightening incident which had resulted in the injury to her shoulder. They loved to hear her adventures in the Battle of Ohed from her own mouth. She had never imagined that she would fight shoulder to shoulder with her husband and 2 sons, defending the Prophet in the Battle of Ohed. She had only taken the water skin on her back so that she could provide water to the injured, and also had taken some homemade bandages to dress their wounds. She had not thought of herself as worthy of any other work on that day. Although the Muslims were small in number and had only a limited supply of equipment, they gave a grand defeat to the enemy who took to their heels, vacating the battlefield. But soon after, due to the negligence of some men guarding the Ainain hills, the enemy made a surprise attack from the rear, turning the victory of the Muslims into defeat. The Muslims surrounding the Prophet fled away, leaving him almost alone in the battlefield. When Nusaybah saw this precarious situation, she put the water skin on the ground and took a sword in her hand. She fought with the sword and also made good use of bows and arrows, and took a shield left over by a fleeing soldier. Once she noticed a man shouting, "Where is Muhammad himself?" She approached him immediately and inflicted a few blows on him, but he was double-armored and her attacks had not much effect on him. He then inflicted such a heavy blow on the shoulder of the armor-less woman that it required treatment for 1 year. Noticing a stream of blood gushing from her shoulder, the Prophet called to one of her sons to immediately dress her wound. He put a bandage over her shoulder, and she again got busy in the battle. Meanwhile, one of her sons got injured. She took out a bandage and dressed his wound. The Prophet, watching the scene, smiled at the heroism of this woman. After dressing her son's wound, she instructed him to get going for the battle. These words were still in her mouth when the Prophet pointed out a man to her and told her that he was the same man who had injured her son. She attacked the man like a lioness and inflicted her sword on his leg. He fell on the ground. The Prophet said, "Well, thou hast taken thy revenge. Thanks for God who gave the victory on him and made thy eyes cool." Many Muslims were martyred and wounded. She herself was severely wounded, and there was no hope of her life. After the Battle of Uhud, the Prophet ordered the wounded Muslims to pursue the enemy up to Hamra al-Asad, to be sure of their intention and condition. Nusaybah also wanted to accompany them, but the deep injuries did not allow her to do so. On returning from Hamra al-Asad, the Prophet, before reaching his house, sent someone to inquire about her health and was pleased to learn that she was alive. We truly hope you loved every moment of this story. If you did, let us know by hitting like, dropping a comment with your favorite part, and sharing it with someone who needs motivation. The biggest support? Subscribing. Join our community and let's keep the true stories coming. Thank you for watching.